Hello, and welcome to We're Not Experts. It's the podcast where we make up conspiracy theories and try to convince each other they're not real. My name is Matt.
And this is Jack.
So let's do a little bit of housekeeping first. Some new things that we have up and coming and that we just started. So I've been hard at work today, Jack, working on our new Facebook page, which I'm excited for. I know I don't really use Facebook anymore, but...
Oh, dude, I never use Facebook. The only thing I use Facebook for is for, like, parties and stuff, and that's really it. And then, like, I'll post, like, once every 3 months so my grandma knows I'm still alive.
Well, that's always good, yeah. I know there's a lot of people on Facebook, so I was like, you know what, let's make a Facebook page. I invited like 300 people to the page, so for those of you who are coming to this channel from there, good for you. I'm glad it worked.
Thanks for the support.
Heck yeah. And we're also on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube now, so that's really exciting. Been hard at work, so if you're listening to us on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes and you're like, oh, I use Spotify, but I like iTunes. I like the Apple Podcast better. You can find us there as well. Just look. It should be linked everywhere, anywhere we're going to post this. Twitter, Facebook. You should be able to find it there, so really excited to be rolling that out.
Of course.
Alrighty, so something else you might notice, we might sound a little bit different than we did last week. Unfortunately, Jack and I live about 2 hours apart. He's in Columbus, I'm in Akron, so realistically we can't get together every week to record in person, so we're doing this online, but we made sure the audio quality is going to be as best as possible for you guys, so hang with us through that. We're going to see if it all works out, so a little bit of a test, but it's alright.
Unfortunately, Matt can't come live in a cooler city, so...
Okay, that's a hot take, brother. I'll tell you what. Do you know where the Black Keys are from, Jack?
Do you know where Rascal Flatts is from, Matt?
Jack, the Black Keys are actually from Akron, if you didn't know that.
Oh, I did know that. Do you know where Rascal Flatts is from?
I don't know, probably nowhere important.
Columbus, Ohio. So is 21 Pilots, dude. So... You should probably check your privilege on that one.
Honestly, I do need to check my privilege. Let's be real. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Rascal Flatts is probably the greatest artist of the 21st century.
Oh, easily. Other than Pitbull and the Black Eyed Peas.
You mean Mr. Worldwide?
Mr. Worldwide. I can't do the Pitbull yell, or else I would.
It's all right. We shouldn't even try, because that would honestly be so disrespectful to the man himself.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So we're going to start our show a little differently than we did last week. We're actually planning to have a little segment. We haven't really come up with a name. We decided whether or not we should actually make it a segment, but I'm the one talking right now. So it is going to be a little segment, basically where we just complain about anything that happened this week, whether it be any inconvenience, somebody annoyed us, we're not looking forward to something, whatever it may be, because everybody just needs to air their grievances from time to time. So we figured, what better place than on the show that we put out to, tens of people.
Yeah, and it's like a Festivus every week. It's great.
Amen.
And Matt and I aren't able to bitch at each other in person, so this is the only way we can do it.
And the best way to do it, if you ask me.
Oh, 100%.
All right, buddy. So I'll let you go first this week. If you're ready for it.
Man. I had a pretty good week. It's going to take me a minute to think of something bad to happen, so... It sounds like you have something you want to get off your chest right now.
I really do. I'm annoyed.
Okay.
I'm very annoyed with something. Let me explain what that something is.
Explain it.
So as you know, Jack, Karen and I... Well, it's actually technically Karen's dog. I'll start with that. She has a dog, but...
Why don't you tell everyone who Karen is?
Oh, yeah. So for those of you who don't know Karen, she is my wonderful, beautiful girlfriend. We've been together for a while now, and we're living together now.
Get too mushy, man.
I know, right? Gross. Yeah. Ew.
Ugh.
I'm disgusting. I disgust myself. Anyways, so we moved in together this past year, and along with Karen moved in her dog, which is pretty much at this point my dog as well. He's a good dog for the most part. A little whiny sometimes. He barks at the wind every once in a while. The usual stuff that annoying little dogs do. He's a Snorky, by the way, which is a Schnauzer Yorkie mix.
Yeah.
Right. So he has all the anxiety of a Yorkie and like all the energy of a Schnauzer. So it's not the best combination at sometimes. But anyways, I was taking him out for a walk like I usually do, taking him out, making sure he goes poop. I walked him for a good 20 minutes. He wasn't pooping, so I was like, all right, dude, we're going to head back inside. Like, obviously, you don't have to go right now. We'll try again later. So we're walking back, and he kind of stopped and, like, jumped and pounced at something. I was like, what is going on? What are you going for? And I turned to him, and I saw him right at that moment sticking an entire chicken bone in his mouth. And for those dog lovers out there, you guys
Wait,
know
on a
that,
walk? He was on a walk?
Yeah, we were on a dude. Welcome to Akron.
How the hell did he find a chicken bone?
I don't know. Like that's the thing. Like I guess somebody was eating chicken walking down the street and said, "Oh, just throw my fucking bone away," and they threw their bone on the sidewalk. So it was like in the grass, like next to the sidewalk, and I didn't see it obviously because I'm not looking for chicken bones. But Owen's always on the scowl, like always looking for something to pick up when he's walking.
Owen's a smart man. You could make like a stew out of that.
You very well could have, but not when it's in your digestive tract.
That's true.
Yeah, so he picks it up and he like is trying his hardest to swallow it whole before I can get to him. So I pull him in and like grab him by his harness because, like I was saying, chicken bones are super bad for dogs. Like if it goes into their digestive tract, it can splinter. It can like tear up their esophagus, tear up their stomach, and like cause some serious problems. And I've tried to get food out of Owen's mouth before. It never turns out well. He always ends up biting me in some way, shape, or form. Not on purpose, just because he's trying to chew the food and like swallow it as fast as possible. So I pull him in, and I'm like trying to reach into his throat to grab this chicken bone. And I already knew I was going to get bit. He was going to chomp down, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather be bit than have to take him into the vets and have him have surgery or something like that. So I'm trying to get this chicken bone out. I pull him in real close. I couldn't get it. He's keeping his mouth shut. It's in the back of his throat, like sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like fighting with him. He's like yelping and stuff. If somebody was driving by, they would have probably thought I was just sitting there beating my dog. Like I looked like a dog abuser for a second, which is the furthest thing from the truth. Love that dog, but he's a little shit sometimes. So I'm struggling with him, and I didn't realize it, but his harness had come loose. Like he got his front legs through his harness. So I eventually just gave up. I was like, you know what? That's fine, Owen. You can, hopefully you'll digest it. If not, I guess you're going to have to go get surgery. Like, I was just over it because I couldn't get it. I was fighting it with him for so long. So I start to take him again, and he just walks right off. He's not attached to the harness. Harness falls to the floor, and he realizes he's free after a second, and he just takes off, darts across the street, and runs. So I'm like, oh, my God. Like, I'm already so pissed. My thumb is bleeding.
Wait, is the chicken bone still in him?
He ate it. Like I'm pretty sure.
He swallowed it whole.
I'm pretty sure he ended up getting it down. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive because he wouldn't have dropped something like that. So he swallows the chicken bone, takes off running across the street. Then, of course, there are a bunch of cars coming, and I have to wait for all of them to pass, and then I'm able to run across the street and go chasing after him. So I'm running like a madman with this harness and leash in my hand through like all these houses, the side houses, everything, trying to get to him. And then I hear him barking, like around the corner. I'm like, oh no, that's not good. So I get over there, and there are like these two kids, I'd say probably like 14 and 11. They have these big old dogs with them, like big, mean looking dogs. And Owen's like running circles around him, barking at him, like trying to upset them and stuff. And like I said, he ended up biting my thumb. My thumb's bleeding. I'm running, like sprinting out of breath because I'm not in shape. Running over to him, just being like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys, I'm so sorry. He's fine, he's not going to hurt you. Like dying, out of breath, red-faced, bleeding. Owen's barking. And then my savior, Kinsley Lowther, who, for those of you who don't know Kinsley, good friend of mine, good friends of Jack's, just one of the nicest, sweetest people in the entire world.
She's one of them, yeah.
No doubt. So she lives right around the corner from me. And she was coming home from work, and she saw Owen running, and she saw me running behind him. So she pulls up in her car, stops, opens the door, and I was like, try to get him inside, try to get him in the car. So I'm able to get him in the car. He finally jumps in, and we get back. I was already, like, I was about to leave for work, too. So I'm already running late to work now. My thumb's bleeding. Get him inside finally. And, but then I was like, you know what? I need to call the vet, make sure everything's okay, make sure he's not going to, die or anything like that. I call the vet, and they're like, yeah, you need to have somebody keep an eye on him for, like, at least the next 12 hours. I was like, well, I have to go to work. That's not good. So Kinsley's like, well, I can stay with him for a little while, but I have to leave in, like, an hour. So I had to call all my friends, call a bunch of people who live nearby. Finally, my buddy Trey, he's able to come over and watch him for a while until Karen came home. So he came over, I headed to work, and that was that. Just not a great start to my week this week. I think that was on Sunday. So, yeah, that is me complaining. And honestly, I do feel a little bit better just to complain to the world about it. So I love the dog. I love the dog. I really do. But, man, he's a lot sometimes, I will say.
That's why I don't have pets. A, because I'm not legally allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
And B, because of that. Because they could swallow chicken bones and run away.
Yeah, and they will. They will, too. And I don't even think he wanted the chicken bone. I think it was just to spite me. I think he was mad at me. So he's like, I'm just going to swallow this entire chicken bone, and you can deal with the ramifications.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's rough. All right, so I guess my thing to complain about, I wouldn't say it's like a story or an event like yours. It's just fucking New Year's resolutioners, man.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
I can't stand them. So, during break and stuff, well, I technically don't have a break, but during the holiday season, like all the students were gone from Ohio State, so that means the gyms were like, for the most part, pretty empty. So, every single time the spring semester starts, every year, the gyms just flood. There's so many people, and it's New Year's resolutioners. And it's such a pain in the ass because you know that all these people are just going to work out for like 2 weeks, and then they're never going to come again.
Yep.
It's just like why? Why? This is why I don't do New Year's resolutions, because 90% of the time when someone makes a New Year's resolution, they never stick to it.
No.
What was the last time you stuck to a New Year's resolution?
That's why I don't make New Year's resolutions, because I never, ever stick to them. Like, I know myself well enough not to make a New Year's resolution, because I'm just going to get disappointed like 2 weeks, 3 weeks later.
Yeah. It's so aggravating to people that actually use... I'm not like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything. Like, I'm not ripped or at all. But someone that frequents the place and usually doesn't have to wait to, like, get on a bike or do some curls or something like that. Now that I have to wait for these lazy, these lazy bastards.
No, I feel it, brother, because, like...
It's just so frustrating.
And I feel like it's one of those things where it's kind of like a catch-22, because you're like... Good for you. I'm glad that you want to get in shape, but also, all of you are going to be here for 2 weeks, and most of you are going to be gone. Like, I can understand how that just gets frustrating. I saw something before New Year's. It was like, hey, why don't you just start your New Year's resolution early and go to the gym now, and don't worry about it like once the year starts. Like, I don't get it. Like, why do you have to start at the beginning of the new year? Why can't it be like a mid-year resolution?
These people, then they'll go vegan after that. Like, working out doesn't really help you that much, so I'll just watch what I eat. And then they eat like fucking acai bowls and stuff. I don't even know. Do you know what an acai bowl is? Or maybe I'm saying that wrong.
I don't know. It sounds like it probably has yogurt in it.
Yeah, it's a new white people food, but it's like yogurt and fruit and granola in a bowl.
So it's a parfait.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big parfait. Or maybe, I don't know. I've never had one, but I've seen them like get made at this little cafe in one of the big gyms here. And they're expensive, dude. I think the ones that you can get here, they're like close to $10.
Oh my god. Yogurt and granola cost like $1
they put in like fruit and stuff too. And maybe like acai is like a certain thing, but I don't care. It's just more proof that white people will pay for anything. Okay, so according to Google, acai is a South American palm tree producing small edible blackish purple berries. So it's just blueberries and pudding. That's all it is. It's Brazilian blueberries. South American. Yeah. Yeah, South American, whatever. Yeah. That's all it is. And it's like $10 for one of them. Then you can make like a cute little boomerang and put it on your story and show off to everybody that you're so fit. This is why I don't get on Instagram anymore, buddy. And this is one of the reasons, because I've never heard of acai, but I'm kind of disappointed that I have. Yeah, I'm sorry to bring that into your life.
It's okay. It's nothing I needed.
No,
but
it's something you shouldn't have to deal with.
no, and
Ugh. No one should have to deal with it.
quite frankly, my day has gotten slightly worse because I know about an acai bowl and that it costs $10. But
All right. Well,
all
let's
right.
make your day better, and let's hear your theory for this
Yes.
week.
No, but I want you to go first this week. I went first last week. Let's rotate. I want to hear yours first because you've been hyping it up, and I am so excited for it.
I want to say hyping it up, but
Well, okay, but you said you're excited for this one.
yeah, because I think it's a super interesting thing that I noticed recently, and I like tried looking it up some stuff on it, and like there's just nothing on it. So, you know who Hannibal Lecter is, right?
He ate people, correct?
He ate people. What do you call someone that eats people?
I would call him a cannibal.
You would call them a cannibal, right? So cannibalism, for those of you who for some reason might not know what a cannibal is, it's someone who enjoys eating human flesh. I don't know if there's good benefits behind it. Maybe you get less acne or some shit, but it's great for skincare.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I was talking to someone about like cannibalism and stuff. Oh, I remember. My friend who's trying to get me to watch Criminal Minds, and she was talking about like something related to like eating humans, and then we started talking about the apocalypse and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it occurred to me, I'm like, if cannibals like eat people, when was the last time you ever saw or heard of a cannibal eating another cannibal?
Well,
think about that.
Well,
dude, like, yeah,
because
like,
you've heard of like those tribes, right? Like those like untouched tribes that are cannibals.
yeah,
they don't
but
eat
why,
each other.
Why
They
don't
always they eat the white man.
Yeah, they eat the white man. So, like, I looked into it. I'm like, why don't other cannibals eat other cannibals? Like, they go out of their way, it seems like, to hunt down other people to where, like, they're surrounded by food at all times.
Yeah.
And then they can just, like, keep reproducing and, like, raising their stock. And it just doesn't make sense that they would go through all this trouble to go... Like, if I was hungry and I was a cannibal and I was around, like, I was in my tribe and there was this, like, fatter dude, why wouldn't you gang up with, like, some of your buddies? They're like, hey, let's have Sunday dinner with this guy, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, in every movie you ever see with cannibals or, like, any story you ever read, anything, it's always, like, the cannibals are, like, eating someone else.
It's always a victim. It's never somebody who's
It's
already...
always a victim.
It's not anybody who's actually actively eating somebody else at a different point in time.
Yeah, and that, like, that's kind of, like, that trust between the people who are in these, like, tribes and cults to join, like, a tribe and cult that you know that they eat people. They're like, hey, man, you can live with us in the jungle or in this shack in Texas, wherever, whatever. But if you do, like, we eat other people.
But
And,
we
like,
won't
wouldn't
eat you. You
the
gotta...
first thing you think is, like, okay, you eat other people, why wouldn't you eat me?
Right, because, like, I'm other people, so are you going to...
Right, yeah, like, I'm your food, so why wouldn't you eat me?
That's a great question.
It's a great thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because, I mean, really, though, like, do you think that, like, cannibals ever look at each other in the same tribe and be like, that's, like you said, Sunday's dinner, like, that, like, we look at a turkey, it's Thanksgiving, we look at a turkey, we're like, damn, that turkey looks great, they smell good, and I want to eat it right now, except for also that turkey would be like, I don't know. You know where I'm going with this. Like, yeah, it sounds good. So would you look at somebody else in your tribe and be like, man,
size them
that
up? You're
looks
like,
good. Yeah, and
like, damn, that looks like good eating.
Yeehaw. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think that maybe if you start eating other people, like, that makes you taste bad? Like, it's like if I were
I didn't think about that. So, like, maybe if you only eat other like people like in your tribe, then that doesn't diversify your flavor. You gotta like season it up a little bit.
Right, like, because if you're only eating people, like say okay, so let's look back. So somebody comes in, like out of the tribe, they get hunted, they get killed. But that person, before they were hunted and killed, they were eating berries, they were eating nuts, they were eating other meats and proteins. They had a really diverse diet beforehand, right?
Yeah.
They had been eating their full food pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
So they're eating, and it tastes great. It's wonderful. Now, somebody who eats that person is eaten next. But because before that, they had only eaten other people, the flavor is diluted. So it gets more and more diluted as it goes down the chain.
Yeah.
To where it has no flavor, it has no health benefits, no protein, because it's just full of other people. It's not full of all those delicious, like fruits and berries. It's kind of like with cows. You get those like all natural, grass-fed, special feed cows that
like
everybody
you
goes
don't
crazy
want,
for.
But like I don't know, maybe you want double the cow flavor. So why wouldn't you get like a cow-fed cow?
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Maybe double the cow and one patty, or however you consume your beef.
Yeah,
but,
no, I don't know. I guess it's one of those things that maybe nobody's been crazy enough to try it yet. Cow-fed cow.
Cow-fed cow. It hasn't been done before. Maybe it has. Who knows? It's not on Wikipedia. I'm scrolling through right now. So,
interestingly, Karen's family, they actually have cows. They live on a farm, and they have cows.
Ooh, okay. I found something.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
So, I looked up my source for everything, human cannibalism, on Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
So, they have a whole thing here, reasons. So, it says, in some societies, especially tribal societies, cannibalism is a cultural norm. Consumption of a person from within the same community is called endocannibalism.
Oh.
Which is ritual cannibalism of the recently deceased, can be part of the grieving process, or seen as a way of guiding the souls of the dead into the bodies of living descendants.
Okay, let's be real though. They're just hungry. That's the only reason. It's not ritualistic.
Shut the hell up. That's not ritualistic at all.
Yeah, my little brother died. I hope he's okay and like in heaven now, but I guess we're just gonna eat him to make sure he gets there. Yeah, right.
This isn't fucking Dia de los Muertos, okay? No, that's not how it works. It's you got lazy, you didn't go find like a white man to eat.
Right.
Or like a tourist or something.
Or even just a deer and some berries, for God's sake. Like
well, they don't eat that.
Well, I'm sure they probably still eat some deer.
No.
You think cannibals only eat other people?
Bro, they're just gnawing on calves.
They are
all
so hungry.
The time.
They are so hungry for that calf, dude.
For that calf, man.
Calf.
Calves.
Calves.
It's a single calf.
Calf.
I think. I don't know.
Who cares?
But
yeah.
Okay, so yes, for them it's like you only eat someone to like honor their memory.
No. Absolutely.
That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, dude. If I die,
would I eat my dog on its deathbed? Like, oh, all right, Buster. You were pretty cool. We played fetch a few times. I'm just gonna eat you. So make sure you go to doggy heaven.
That's
Doesn't make any sense.
That's the only way. Not because I don't want to go out to the grocery store and buy groceries or anything like that. It's mainly just because I want to make sure you go to doggy heaven.
Yeah. I guess that's pretty righteous of someone to do.
I guess if you truly believe that, then good for you for eating your dead mother. But besides that, man, I think most people they're probably just lazy and hungry.
Yeah. This has right here medical aspects of cannibalism.
Yes, I want to hear this.
What? Medical. Okay, so a well-known case of mortuary cannibalism is that of the Fore tribe, so spelled Fore tribe, in New Guinea, which resulted in the spread of the prion disease, Kuru. Although the Fore's mortuary cannibalism was well documented, the practice has ceased before the cause of the disease was recognized. Okay, so this disease sprouted from mortuary cannibalism. So they were like eating bodies. They weren't eating people. They were eating bodies.
What's the dead bodies?
So mortuary is like a dead body.
Right.
So I guess it's saying if you don't want this disease, you got to, like, eat your body, like, fresh off the leg.
Right, like,
or
you
the
got to
arm
hunt that
or
thing
whatever.
down, put
Like,
it on
you
the
hunt it down,
spit,
you
and
eat
then...
it then. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Ew.
I don't know. Or maybe I'm just stupid and not reading this right.
It could be
but-
both.
It probably is both.
Yeah, it's all right, buddy.
Wait, okay, here we go. In 2003, a publication in Science, so Science magazine, I think, received a large amount of press attention when it suggested that early humans may have practiced extensive cannibalism. According to
Ooh.
this research, genetic markers commonly found in modern humans worldwide suggested that today many people carry a gene that evolved as protection against the brain diseases that can be spread by consuming human brain tissue.
Whoa.
So, if you're going to eat somebody, just don't eat their brain.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, like, you don't want their memories either, because that's...
That's just fucked up.
No, that's just
Like,
rude, dude.
What if you eat someone that was, like, super traumatized or,
Right.
like, had some sort of, like, mental illness and you just, like, suckled on their brain?
Oh, God, no. Like, yeah, what if they did something really, really bad, like, and then you feel like you did that thing that's really, really bad? It's kind of what you
It's
just said.
true.
I kind of just exactly restated what you said.
You totally did.
Yeah,
But it's
I had
okay.
another thought, and it didn't come out of my mouth, but that's all right.
That's okay. You can, yeah, it's fine. I forgive you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But, yeah, it goes into, like, myths and folklore, like Hansel and Gretel. I don't know. I just thought of that. I'm like, that's kind of weird that you never see. So, basically, what we've learned is cannibals only eat other cannibals if they want to send them to cannibal heaven. And,
Do you think there's a cannibal heaven just for cannibals?
dude, there has to be.
Because think about
Like,
it, dude.
you can't have cannibals running around heaven.
No.
Try to, like,
but
suckle on souls.
if you're a
No
cannibal
way.
and you go to cannibal heaven, like, how cool, like, you can just run around, take a big old gnaw to somebody just walking down the street. They, like, heal instantly, and everybody just goes
Yo.
around and just eats each other. That would be
Okay, how
so
about
cool if
this?
you were a cannibal.
How about this? Cannibal heaven is just hell. So if you go to hell, you're in cannibal heaven, and then you're just chased by cannibals for eternity.
But then you can also chase other cannibals for eternity.
Then you just become a cannibal.
Wow.
Wow. That's the afterlife, folks.
That's it. We
Either-
figured it out. We
That's
figured
it.
out religion. We solved
That's it.
religion.
We solved the religion crisis.
And
There's not a
probably
religion crisis.
no, there's really not. But also probably world hunger too. I think we probably solved world hunger.
If
while
we
we were
all
at
just
it.
eat each other, we lower the world population, so that's more resources for everybody. And then we can all go to cannibal heaven together, and it will be fantastic.
I think everybody should just get one bite. You know, you can
One
get
bite?
one bite of somebody else. That's it. You get one bite. And then everybody's full, and then everybody goes to cannibal heaven.
Yeah, but okay, you couldn't do that because what if someone takes a bigger bite than someone else?
Well, then
You
they
gotta-
probably
you
have a
gotta
bigger
even,
mouth.
You gotta even out the proportions. No, you gotta even out the proportions, man.
Okay, so everybody gets like one spoonful.
A spoonful?
Yeah.
A spoonful of flesh?
Yep.
No, I think everyone should get like an 8-ounce steak.
An 8-ounce, like,
Yeah.
okay. Where does it
I
come
think
from?
you could
Like
do that.
a good old ass steak or something? You lose one
An
cheek.
ass, you can choose part. You can choose the part of the body.
Okay, cool.
So you're just like you get 8 ounces of it.
8 ounces of anybody of your choosing.
8 ounces of any body part you desire.
That's awesome.
So that's how we solve world hunger.
I'm really glad we figured this out together.
Yeah.
We're changing lives on this podcast, buddy.
Oh, of course we are. And if any of you guys listening actually become cannibals, it's not our fault.
No, but send us a letter and tell us about it.
Yeah, just send us a discreet letter. We'd love to see like how your life changes from it.
Yeah,
Other
and then
than just reading about it on Wikipedia.
right, absolutely. So go out there, eat somebody, let us know, and maybe we'll see you in cannibal heaven.
All right. Okay,
All right.
so that's my shtick for the week. Let's get into yours, Matt. You've told me you've had this one brewing.
Yes.
It's just been simmering in the crock pot for forever. So I'm very curious to see what your what's on your mind?
All right, so I went ahead and did something more focused on media again this week. I know it's kind of 2 weeks in a row focusing on like TV and shows and stuff, but this is the very first one that I came up with when we first had this idea for a podcast. So it's been sitting for like a good 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very, very excited. I went through today, went through all the facts. I actually found some more research. So I am ready to go with this.
All right.
Let me get a drink of water. Alrighty, so Jack.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Matt.
We both know and love Eric Estrada.
Oh, my
right?
God.
You know Eric Estrada.
Dude, you're going to make me cry on the podcast. Don't even get me started on Eric Estrada.
So Jack and I know of Eric Estrada from a little movie called The Modern Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
Which is easily the best film adaptation of Mark Twain's beloved classic ever.
Hands down. Just Google
Hands
it.
down.
Just Google it. Look up just the cover photo of it. You will thank me later. It is a masterpiece in every sense of the word. I absolutely love it. However, Eric Estrada is actually better known for this little show called Chips. It's a police show. I haven't watched it before, but I know that's what he was really known for back in the 70s to 80s, specifically from 77 to 83. So after that, he kind of fell off the map. He really wasn't getting any gigs anymore after Chips ended. So I'm going to go through some movie names here. Tell me if you recognize any of these. So in 1983, he played in a movie called Where is Parsifal? He played in
Parsifal?
Parsifal, yep, as Henry Board II. In 1985, he played in Light Blast as Inspector Ron Warren. I'll jump ahead here.
Okay.
89, Alien Seed as Dr. Stone. And then he had, 6 movies in 1990. Twisted Justice, A Show of Force, Night of the Wilding, Caged Fury, Spirits, and Guns. And these are all just absolute...
He was in Guns?
Wait, do you know Guns? I've never heard of it.
Shit, I love Guns.
Oh, well, he didn't play anybody important. Or maybe he did. I don't know. I've never heard of it. So I thought
Guns
it was...
is great.
All right, we'll take Guns
Love
off the list then. But he was in some real stinkers for a while, right? Like, nothing huge. He didn't have any super big leading roles. So he kind of fell off the map a little bit. You know, the 90s were approaching, and there really wasn't a forerunner in the Latin American media at all. However, right around this time in 1990, a new Latino actor hit the scene. He would go on to be one of the most widely recognized Latin American celebrities. Eric Estrada was just nowhere to be found. And this man, as I'm sure you probably guessed, is George
Fluffy.
Lopez. No, no, not Fluffy, but
Damn it.
I know, we all love Fluffy. But it was George Lopez. So he burst onto the scene around 1990, which is right when Eric Estrada was on the downslope. He was just kind of like getting down in the gutter where he really couldn't climb back up anymore. So George Lopez found success in stand-up comedy and just some other small television and movies in the 90s. And then his big break came in 2002 when Sandra Bullock approached him and offered to help him start a show. So actually Sandra Bullock was really in the forefront of Latin American television in the United States.
Wait, Sandra Bullock helped produce the George Lopez show?
She sure did.
What?
I know. I didn't know that either. I was reading it on Wikipedia today, so shout out Wikipedia. So she helped get the show off the ground, and the George Lopez show was born in 2002. So George Lopez quickly became like a really big household name, very well known. He was like the #1 Latin American television and movie star at that time.
He made the song Lowrider popular.
He did. He really did. What a song, that Lowrider.
Great song.
Fantastic. All right, Jack, so you ready to hear what my theory is?
I kind of see where you're going, but I want to hear it. All
right,
I'm intrigued.
So I'm going to tell you what it is. Tell me if this is what you thought where I was going with it, because it probably is. All right, so my theory is that Eric Estrada and George Lopez are the exact same person.
Of course.
Right. Yeah. So Eric Estrada, he wanted to rebrand himself as a family man and an everybody actor, but he knew he couldn't go under the name Eric Estrada anymore because, you know, nobody really cared about Eric Estrada anymore. Mm-hmm. So he got some plastic surgery, changed his hair a little bit, some new makeup, and made himself look a little bit younger. And lo and behold, he is George Lopez. So
I can totally see that.
Right. I actually have some more here that kind of supports my theory.
Okay,
So
let's
first
go.
of all, the dates line up perfectly. Like I said, Eric Estrada kind of ended his, I don't want to say ended his career, but was really like pretty much done with everything in the early
Let
90s,
me
right
look
when
up.
George Lopez started
Let me
hitting
go
the
on
scene.
IMDb.
What's up?
Also, Eric Estrada looks like George Lopez.
They do. And
They
oddly
look
enough,
similar.
I was looking at pictures today, and you remember that thing, that website totallylooks.com, where like it would just like match celebrities who look like each other?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure enough, George Lopez totally looks like Eric Estrada, according to them.
Okay, so I'm on Eric Estrada's IMDb page right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been in stuff, dude.
He has technically, but it's been stinkers, Jack. Let's be real. It's nothing important. He takes off the George Lopez mask from time to time and rebrands
I don't know,
himself
man.
as Eric Estrada.
His newest thing is Spring Break '83. That sounds like a pretty awesome movie, or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, no, it's not, because no.
He was in Chupacabra versus the Alamo.
So I think what it really is.
Chupacabra versus the Alamo, Matt. You can't beat that. I'm sorry.
Well, I think what it is that George Lopez, or I'm sorry, Eric Estrada, like he loves being in those D movies. That's why he did so many in 1990, like all these just absolute shit movies. So he's like, okay, I'm going to take off the George Lopez mask and go back out as Eric Estrada just so I can make these movies.
But you said he got plastic surgery.
Okay, maybe not plastic surgery. Maybe it was more of like a plaster face, something along those lines. I don't know. I'm not Eric Estrada.
Oh, like the masks from Mission Impossible?
Yeah. He probably got a little bit of a touch-up because, he's like 72 now or something like that. He's in his 70s now, and he's still looking pretty good.
Dude, he was not in some stinkers. He was a voice actor in Adventure Time, Phineas and Ferb. He was in Big Time Rush. He played Carlos's dad.
But important, a voice actor. He can switch his voice from Eric Estrada to George Lopez like it's nothing.
Dude, he was in Eminem's Just Lose It video. Get the fuck out of here. He was in Scrubs.
Right.
He was in Van Wilder.
And that's all fine. That's great. And I'm glad
Lizzie
he was.
McGuire.
But Jack, he didn't have a show like George Lopez did.
No, he didn't.
And the difference between George Lopez and Eric Estrada, like I was saying, is that George Lopez is that family man, everybody kind of guy, right? Like he can be in all those kids shows. He's on Nick at Night. He's very likable and well known. Where it comes to Eric Estrada, he's kind of the bad boy persona of this man, of this Eric Estrada. So he can do whatever he wants. He wants to be in a stinker film. He can be in a stinker film. He wants to be a voice actor. He can be a voice actor. It's the two sides of the coin of this Eric Estrada.
Yeah. So are you saying like he chooses to do this, or like he developed like your Hannah Montana thing?
No, not like
some sort of disorder.
He chose.
This is just
this.
by choice, okay.
Right? Because like I said, he was in the gutter with his career as Eric Estrada, so he said, I have to rebrand myself. I have to change what I'm doing here.
But D movies are just so much fun to be in. He's like, I don't want to give that life up.
Right. I mean,
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so he does the George Lopez thing to help support his D movie career. So he can afford to do it.
I think it's kind of the opposite. I don't think he does George Lopez. Like, I don't think he loves it that much, but it's just like, you know what? Like, I'm bored being George Lopez. I'm just going to go be Eric Estrada for a while and, like, make some really bad movies. Just kind of like a side project kind of thing. But he kind of killed the Eric Estrada thing. He wasn't trying to be top tier with that anymore. That's just his fun project after a while. Yeah. He became George Lopez and fully embraced it. Now, I have some more here. Some more proof that they're the same person. And one that I think is probably the most interesting. I'm going to get a sip of water. All right. So, if you thought they were different people, you would probably think that like the two of the biggest Latino-American superstars would have, some content together, whether it be a picture or some sort of video or promotion or even a movie, anything like that. You think they'd be together in some sense at some point and have proof of it.
Yeah.
Jack, there is no proof of them ever being in the same room together. And not only that, but George Lopez actually hates Eric Estrada. He said
he hates him.
What?
What do you mean he hates him? He said that on the record?
Yes, it is on the record. I have a video I will. Let me put it in the Discord. I have it pulled up actually.
Put it in the Discord. I want to
Yeah,
see it.
I will show it to you, and I don't know if the audio will go through. If not, then we're just gonna cut it. But let me find it.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, this is Eric Estrada. Okay. So basically, hold on 1 second. Almost there.
Okay. Also, while you were talking, I looked up. So George Lopez had a kidney transplant in 2004.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna get to that. Don't.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's part of it. Ooh,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
So you dove deep. Okay.
I dove real deep. Yep. Don't go into that yet, cause.
All right. I won't.
All right. So. Oh wait, that's the wrong video. I sent you the wrong one. It's not Eric Estrada slamming
Eric
George
Estrada
Lopez.
slams George Lopez.
It's George Lopez. So the video is called George Lopez Talks About Eric Estrada on Law Fusion. So basically, the whole story behind it is that when George Lopez was 17, he was a big fan of Chips, a big fan of Eric Estrada, just kind of being that voice for the Latino-American community, especially in media, because George wanted to get into media in some way, shape, or form. However, when he went up to ask him for an autograph and just get a signature and say hi, Eric Estrada completely blew him off. Just like, get out of my face, kid. Don't want anything to do with you. So ever since that day, basically just Eric Estrada saying, no, you can't have an autograph. George Lopez has hated him in every sense of the word. He is like mortal enemy number one to George Lopez.
So George Lopez made that up about himself so he could make it seem like they're not the same person.
Exactly.
To back up the story.
Exactly.
Oh, that is juicy.
Yep. Okay, he said, you know what? I'm going to have this quote unquote beef with Eric Estrada, so that way nobody ever questions why we're never seen together and we won't do any work together.
See, that's smart. Hannah Montana should have done that. She should have like been on stage singing the best of both worlds, then after like, yeah, fuck Miley.
Honestly, dude.
Okay,
yeah,
let me
she blew it.
Video. Let me
yeah,
see if
pull
the
up that
audio
video.
Works.
I don't know if it's going to play into...
Oh yeah, the audio's playing.
It's playing on your end. It's not playing on mine, so I don't think we're going to get it to play in Audacity, like where we're recording it. But
okay.
Like I said, we'll link that video down under all our descriptions and everything, so you can check that out.
Okay, so there's some people talking. George Lopez. I don't think. Yeah, no one can hear it. The video.
That's
right?
okay. No, nobody can hear it. So yeah, like I said, watch it afterwards. We'll link that. But basically, it's George Lopez out on a golf course. Playing golf and signing a bunch of hats and everything.
Yeah.
He talks about how when he was younger, like I said, the whole story about Eric Estrada, him snubbing him and not giving him an autograph.
Okay. He's talking about. Let me hear.
Yeah, go ahead.
He idolized 2 Hispanics on television.
Yep.
Eric Estrada is one of them from Chips.
Yep. Bingo. Loved Eric Estrada. Loved watching Chips.
Disdain for Eric Estrada.
Strong disdain. He wants nothing to do with Eric Estrada.
So basically George Lopez is saying he tried to get an autograph from Eric Estrada, but Eric Estrada completely blew him off.
Right.
And now he like hates him. Wow.
Right. And think about it, dude. Like, that is not really a reason for your entire life to say, I hate this man, I will never touch him, I will never talk to him. Like, that seems pretty minor, especially when Eric Estrada was a big celebrity, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like, any celebrity, like, you can't expect to get, like, a picture or an autograph from every celebrity you see in person.
Of course not.
Like, that's just so unrealistic. There's no way.
But I feel like George Lopez at one point was probably put on the spot and said, well, why don't you ever, appear together? And he had to come up with a story, so he pulled that one out and then just developed it from there. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why they're never together, because they're the same person. He had to come up with a story. That's it.
Dude, you are blowing my mind right now.
It's crazy, right?
Crazy.
And, get on Google Images, try to search up Eric Estrada and George Lopez in any picture together. It will not show up. All right, so... You were talking about kidney failure and George Lopez losing his kidney, right?
Yes, he had a kidney transplant in 2004.
Yep.
He was suffering from a genetic disorder. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so let's talk about kidney failure for a second. So according to WebMD, the risk factors for chronic kidney disease include diabetes, high blood pressure, family history of kidney failure, and being aged 60 or older. Now,
Okay.
George Lopez was apparently only 43 when his kidneys failed, a whole 17 years younger than what is common for people to have kidney failure. Now, Jack, take a guess as to how old Eric Estrada was at the time.
Probably 60.
He was 55.
Okay, so not too far off.
Not
but
too
wait,
far
so
off.
was this chronic, like, what disease did you say?
Chronic kidney
George Lopez
disease,
had?
I believe.
That's what he had?
Yes.
Okay, because this just says genetic disorder.
It
So it
was-
could have been like a genetic disease he had that led to it.
Right, but regardless, so I actually looked that up on WebMD, and they were actually talking about George Lopez specifically. So CKD,
Okay.
so it's specifically the case that he had, and like I said, it typically occurs in people aged 60 or older. Eric Estrada, a lot closer to 60 than George Lopez. So
That's true.
George trying to
Numbers
still
don't
keep
lie.
his name up, like talking instead of it being Eric who comes out and says I have kidney disease because nobody would care. He wanted to feed off that ego of people giving him support because he knew that more people would care about George having kidney disease than Eric having kidney disease. So it's much more likely that this guy who, Eric Estrada would have been the one who got kidney disease, considering they're the same person.
That
if
makes sense.
Yeah, does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally get what you mean.
So I don't know, man. That's about all I got for it. I'm pretty sure I'm correct, because they just look so much alike. They act so much alike.
I would say you're definitely correct on that.
So I convinced you. You think?
Yeah, no, I didn't bamboozle your theory or anything.
No, not at all. Because I know you were trying to get to it, but
I remember the first time we ever watched the masterpiece of the Modern Adventures of Tom
what did we
Sawyer.
call what did we call Eric Estrada?
We called him Great Value George Lopez.
We sure did, buddy. Because that was the first thing we thought is that George Lopez? No,
Yeah.
It was Eric. Well, it was, yes, but also Eric Estrada.
We're just now coming to the light and realizing.
Yep.
Wow.
That's right.
crazy. So what's going to happen now that the public knows?
Well, now that the public knows, I don't think he's going to budge, because George Lopez is on top right now. He doesn't want to go back to being Eric Estrada. Like, he just had that tweet that went viral, or like the Instagram comment about Donald Trump and all that. He's doing pretty.
Wait, what? What tweet?
I don't want to get into it. It was basically. I'm not.
No, get into it. Get into it.
No.
What is it?
If you know, you know. I'll say that. He basically had a comment about Donald Trump like being
We can
assassinated.
talk about political stuff, dude.
Yeah,
It's cool.
no, I know we can, but I don't know.
We're not gonna like get on tangents or anything. I just was curious what he said.
Okay, so basically, I just don't want to get the facts wrong. That's all.
That's fine. Just yeah.
So like somebody, I want to say it was
Matt doesn't want to get the facts wrong on a podcast where we just make up fake conspiracy theories. Okay.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so basically, there was a hit for Donald Trump out for like $80 million or $800 million or something like that from
Like an assassination hit.
Yeah.
Yo.
And George Lopez said, we'll do it for half. And people lost their shit. Obviously, he's not being serious about it.
Oh my
But
god.
George Lopez, ladies and
We'll
gentlemen,
do it for half.
said, we'll do it for half.
Holy hell, that is hilarious.
Oh, old GL, baby. That George Lopez. what a guy.
Wow, that is so funny.
Oh,
Dude,
Mamma Mia.
Mr. Electric.
Oh, yes.
What's his name from Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
It was something like that. That was, funny enough, that was like one of his breakout roles, like after the George Lopez show. That was like his first movie, was doing Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Really?
I know a lot about George Lopez that I never knew before now.
Okay, I have to know his name. It's gonna bug me.
Yeah, no, look it up real quick because I'm curious too. That is one of the most underrated movies, Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I missed that.
Honestly,
we need to sit
not
down
a
and
fan.
When's the last time you watched it?
When I was a kid, like I didn't watch it that much.
I loved it when I was a kid. However, I remember when I was watching it, there was this one like movie detail I noticed that really bugged me.
Mr. Electric, Mr.
Electric, baby. So
continue.
There's a scene where like Shark Boy is laying like completely unconscious. I think he was like supposed to be dead. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've watched it. But like Lava Girl had to like revive him somehow or something. But as he was laying there, his shoulder twitched And it just completely threw off like the illusion that he was supposed to be dead for me, and I've never forgiven the movie for that.
That out of all the things in that movie, that's what ruined. That's what ruined Shark Boy and Lava Girl for you?
That completely killed the immersion.
Oh,
Yep, because I was so into
wow.
it. I saw his shoulder twitch, and I said, "Movie's ruined. I'm over it.
Damn, dude.
Wrap it up." Crazy, right?
I just can't fathom that they're the same person. And I also completely forgot George Lopez is in Shark Boy and Lava Girl. That's just or Eric Estrada.
I mean, it could be Eric Estrada. It
Yeah.
really could be. Who would know? I mean, it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is my theory for the week. Like I said,
I love it.
I deep
love
dove
it.
on that one pretty hard. Like I knew I was going deep with it, but
I'm glad you did because you convinced me.
well, hell yeah, brother.
You definitely convinced me.
Good. I'm
So,
glad.
I don't know what our next stages are gonna be now that we have this information. Hopefully George Lopez doesn't show up at my house with his hit squad.
I hope. Yeah, I mean, apparently he'll do it for pretty cheap too. So
Yeah.
I'm just
But, yeah.
hoping that George Lopez doesn't show up dead because of this. Like I hope George Lopez is okay. You know?
But what if Eric Estrada dies? Where it is what it is.
What if by chance, like Eric Estrada in his old age actually dies and then George Lopez is just gone and we were 100% correct. Like George Lopez never makes any more appearances.
We're gonna have to like keep an eye out. Honestly.
I want to see how old Eric Estrada is real quick.
I have his IMDb page up. Hold on. He was born March 16th, 1949.
He's 70.
So,
He's 70
yeah.
right now.
he's 70.
Damn, dude. Well,
Too good. Too juicy, man.
amen, brother. I knew there was going to be a deep cut on this one, but I'm glad.
No,
I'm
I'm
glad.
glad.
I finally got this one out there. I've been waiting to tell you for this. Literally since we started, this is the first idea I had, and I was so excited to tell you about it. But I've been having for literally 6 months to like refrain from even saying a word about it, and it's been driving me crazy.
What's finally out there? It's finally off your chest. So you
I
can
feel
rest easy now. You can rest easy now, soldier.
Thank you, General. I feel so much better. Oh my God.
Wow.
Woo! All right. Well, what's next?
What's next?
Yeah. We got to have an outro, right? This is a podcast. This is a
Yeah, we
production,
do have
damn
to
it.
have an outro. So this episode was brought to you by our sponsor, Apple.
Thank you, Apple.
Some of you guys may know their products, iPhones, iPads. Personally, I have the iPhone 6S. I love it. I think it's great. It works really well for me. I can text my friends and call them whenever I want. I can listen to music. Yeah, it's just great company. Great products. So Apple, check them out. We'll have a promo code in our bio. No, we don't. We don't.
Well, fine then. My side of the podcast over in Akron is sponsored by Google. Get the new Google Pixel 4 and Google Pixel 4a for quite a few $100s coming to you soon in a retailer near you soon. It's also not sponsored by Google. We're gonna get taken down now. It's gonna get reviewed, and they're just gonna say we can never podcast again.
Okay,
Nah, it's all right.
We'll cut all this out.
No, we won't. No, we won't. We're not cutting any of that. That
What?
was beautiful.
No, we'll get taken out. We'll take. Matt,
Maybe.
your Eric Estrada, George Lopez theory will never see the light of day.
It's okay, buddy. I promise. I promise we'll be okay. And
All right.
we'll figure it out. Anyways, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. We almost made it to an hour this week, which is exciting, but we're not going to drag it out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we are on Facebook now. Just look up We're Not Experts Podcast. That's the name of it. It's a page.
Yeah, Facebook. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube as well.
Yep, we'll be there. So come check us out. It helps a lot if you guys rate our show, both on YouTube, especially on Apple, on iTunes. I'm not going to be the guy who sits there, please just like our show, but it does help to help the show grow. So consider that. And beyond that, we're going to see you hopefully next week, same time, every Friday. That's our new schedule every Friday. If anybody's still listening, so listen
Every
to us on
Friday.
Friday. Yep. All right,
All
buddy.
right.
Well, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.